Hello, everyone. It's Michael, and we are going to do a TV for Education admin new user training. So, if you are a new user and you're the administrator of the system, this session's for you. The first thing you need to do is once you bring the system up, you need to be signed in. You'll know you're signed in if it says sign out. Okay, so you need to be signed in. The next thing you need to do is, or to check, click on the menu button, and you need to have all of these options, most if not all of them. The important one is you need to have catalog, you need to have patron, you need to have configuration, and you need to have settings. Okay, now settings is not that important, but you do need to have it, and you do need to have configuration. That's very important. Okay, so let's go over that again. What's the minimum? You need to have catalog, you need to have patron, and in patron you need to have patron management, and you need to have configuration. And scroll up, by the way, because if you're looking at that, you can go, oh, I've only got up to patron editor. No, scroll the screen up and you will see all the other things in here. Okay, as long as you've got that, you're ready to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go, how do I add users onto the system? Because patrons, teachers, all that sort of stuff. But before you add users onto the system, let me just go onto the patron file. Okay, so patron management. If you click on that, it's going to bring up your record. Okay, and it's from this particular screen that you are going to be adding patrons onto the system. Now, when you add any patrons onto the system, let me just go and find another patron here. Okay, so let's go and have a look at Mike Fernandez. So when you're adding patrons onto the system, there are three things that you need to do. You need to have a class grade. Homeroom's not that important, but the system requires it. But very, very important is class grade and the role that you're going to give people. Okay, now these are all the roles that are there: administrators, catalogers, circulation desk. In your case, if you're just a for education administrator, there's three roles in here, or four roles actually. There's a student role. Every student should have a student role. Okay, every teacher should have a teacher role. But the administrators of the system should have either the administrator or the librarian. Doesn't matter which one, but one of the two. My recommendation is give everybody else the role of a librarian if they're going to do administration of the system. In other words, they're going to add users, they're going to go into the catalog and add bibliographic information, they're going to delete content on the system. So they need librarian or administrators. Both of them will allow them to do most of the stuff. But before you go ahead and add those roles, we need to set up the class grade. Okay, so this particular one here, we need to set that up because, like, I've got a class grade of a staff. Well, what can the staff do? That's very important. So we need to set that up. Okay, and what part of setting it up is allocating security levels. Okay, for the patron. So let's go and set them up first. Okay, and the way you do it is you click on the menu button and you come down to configuration, and you need to have the authority file. So this is the first thing you do before you even add a patron. You need to come to the authority file, and for every group of person you have on your system. So in other words, if you've got year sixes, sevens, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teachers, staff, and so forth, you need to have a classification for them. And the way you do it is you click that and you go to class grade. Okay, so in the class grade, there's all my year levels. So if you've got 6 year levels, they should all be in there. If you got 3 year levels, they should all be in there. If you got 12 year levels, they should all be in there. Okay, however, you also need to have administrators in there. You also need to have primary school teachers, staff, any other classification of teachers needs to be in there. Don't lump them all into just staff. Okay, you might want to have permanent staff, you might want to have temporary staff, you might want to have itinerant staff, you might want to have casual staff, you might even want to have parents in there. So basically every classification of users should be in there. So if you haven't got one in there that you want to have, click in here and just type in temporary staff and then click that plus. And what it will do is once you do that, it'll create it, but it'll take you to this screen. Okay. And what you need to do is you need to allocate a security level for that group. Now, we'll just do students first, and then we'll talk about the other groups. So if it's a year 7, the security should be 7. If it's a year 8, security should be 8. If it's 10, it should be 10. If it's 11, it should be 11. If it's 12, it should be 12. Okay? Then you need to have a final borrowing date and expiry date. And really, if you're just using in TV4Education, you might want to just pick a date 10 years from now and make that the final borrowing date and the expiry date. You're not using it as a library system, you're just TV4Education. So you need to have those dates, because if those dates are prior to today when you're trying to use the system, it'll tell you, oh, he's expired. You can't use it. Okay. You don't need to put loan limits or anything like that, but you need to have the classification and that, and then you just go save. Okay. Don't worry about all the issues below that line. However, what classification do I give someone who's not a staff member? My recommendation that all staff should have a classification of 50. Okay, it's an arbitrary number. Let's just go and bring up teachers as an example. There we go. So we've got teachers on the system, and we're going to go and bring up all the teachers on our system. Okay, so if I go teachers and I have a look at that, teachers are 50. Okay, all right, so if teachers are 50, what about administrators? So let's have a look at administrators. Okay, so administrators, they are 999. So teachers are 50, administrators are 999. All right, what do those numbers represent? Okay, so basically, if you add a video to the system, and that video is not appropriate for anyone under year 12. So if you had a classification for year 11, or it's not appropriate for anyone under year 11. So let's go here and let's have a look at the year 11s. So here we go, year 11s, and their security is 11. So basically, if the video was a security 12, the year 11s would not be able to see it, but neither would the year 10s and 8s and 9s and so forth and so on. Okay, you have to be a year 12 person to watch it. If the video was violent, sexually explicit, and is dealing about bullying, you might want to classify the video as a 50, which means that only teachers can see it. So only teachers can show it to the students. Okay? And that's how it works. So only teachers can show it to the students. And that's all there is to it. So that year level, if you have a video on the system and it has a number classification, that particular number has to be equivalent or higher to your classification. So if I've got a video and it's okay, but really I don't want my year 9s to watch it. So you can classify the video okay for year 10s or above. Now, if you do it's okay for year 10s and above, then it'll look at the security rating of the person. And if they're year 10, they can watch it. Year 11, they can watch it. Year 12, they can watch it. And of course, 50, all staff. Well, why would you have anything between 50 and 12? Well, let's say for argument's sake, you had a group called temporary teachers, and you might want to add a video that is not allowable for temporary teachers. So if you gave the temporary teacher a classification of 25 and the video was a 50, they won't be able to see it. Okay, so that's what it's there for. All right, so you need to do that. Now, whenever I add a person, if I add them as a year 11, it'll automatically give them a security of 11. If I add them as administrator, it'll give them a security of 50. Now, a teacher, it'll give them a security of 50. If I add them as an administrator, it'll be 999. Now, why would you do that? Because if some teacher adds a video that's sexually explicit and violent and it's 50, which means they can watch it, you can go into that video and you can go, no, as an administrator, I don't think that you should be having access to this. So you can just go and make it any number over 50. Let's say you make it 100. The teacher now can't access that video. Okay. And then you can go and have a talk to that teacher and say, look, this is really not appropriate. Are you sure you want to be able to put this on there? Because your name is going to be attached to this video, that this is what you put on the system. Okay, so you can certainly control, but what they have as an administrator. So give it a number anywhere over 50. All right. Now, let's go ahead into the catalog screen. So when I'm in the catalog screen and videos are added, this is where the bibliographic information of the video is sitting. Okay. Now, in the bibliographic information in the video, so let's just go to the last record in the collection, and there's the video. Every video has a rating. So in this case, this is a 50 video. So really, year 12s can't watch it. So it won't even appear on the year 12 screen. It won't appear on the year 5 screen. It won't appear on the prep screen because you have to be at least 50 or above to be able to have access to this video. Okay, that's what the system does for you automatically. However, if I made that a 9 and saved it, all that'll mean is, all right, if you're a 9 and above, you can watch this and it will automatically appear on your search screen. Okay, but if you're an 8, it won't appear on your search screen. That's what that's all about. Okay, so how do the videos themselves get that number to start with? Now, this is very, very important as an administrator. Okay, you need to understand how it gets it. So let's go into the menu and let's go down to configuration. And in the configuration, we're going to go to the authority file editor. Okay, now remember the authority file, we went into class grade, and that's where all the security numbers for the patrons were. Okay, remember it was in class grade. That's where they all were. But that's for the individuals. But what about the items? Okay, the videos themselves. So if you click on that and go all the way down to video default security, that's the one you want. When you click on that, it'll say, if it's a G-rated video, everyone can watch it because give it a security of 0. If it's an M-rated video, give it a security of 10. So you need to be at least year 10 and above. If it's an MA, you need to be at least 12 and above. If it's a PG, you need to be at least 6 and above. If it's an R-rated, you need to be an administrator to have access to it. But you go MA for year 12, I might want to make that year 11 and above. And so if you do, just click on that, okay? And then you make that 11 and go save, all right? Now what will happen is, and this is not retrospective, it's from now on. From now on, any video that you get added, if it's an MA video, year 11s and above can watch it. Okay, so that's how the security is set up on the cataloging side, and you can go to the individual catalog record where it's now saying 11, and you can change it. No, this one's a year 12 because it's a little bit more violent than normal, so you can make it year 12 if you want to on that video, on that one and only video. Okay, now let's say for argument's sake, let's go back to the search screen. Okay, just because you've set a default rating, the teachers can override all the default ratings, not in the catalog, but for the purpose of sharing the video. So let's have a look at this particular video, how to survive an asteroid strike. Okay, let's assume that this is a year 12 video, but you're a year 10 teacher, you've looked at it and you've decided, you know what, I don't see anything wrong with this video for my year 10s. I would, instead of me showing it to them, I want that video to appear on the screen when the year 10 search and they have access to that video. So if you want to share a video that's outside a student's security range, but only for the share, you cannot change the master copy. You need to be administrator to go into the catalog, but you want to give your year 9s access to this video, there's the share icon. Click on that share icon, share it with, I'm going to share it with my year 7s. Okay, and it will give you a new URL. Now you can highlight that URL, right click and go copy. And now you can email it to the parents of your year 7, say, I want your kids to watch it. Can you please make sure you sit in the room with them and watch this, just in case you have any objections? Just send them the email. That's it. Okay, and by the way, see the link expiry? That link won't work after the last day in the year. But you can say, no, 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 I don't want it to expire then. I want it to expire in a week's time because this is only for the 13th, up to the 13th of May. Click on that. And now you can take that and highlight and copy it. And if they try to access that same link after the 13th of May, it will not work. Okay. And that's really all you need to understand about the security on the system. Well, how do I add? Well, if you're a teacher, remember the role of a teacher? If you have the role of a teacher, you will have this button called TV4Education. So you can click on that, okay? And when you go to TV4Education, there's all your videos that's available. You've got over 160,000 videos on here. And you can have a look at all of this and you can go, nine goes, say yes to the dress. I want to add that to my collection. Just click on that as a teacher. There's the video, and then just click that star, and that'll get added. And you should really allow all your teachers to be able to add and grow the collection. Okay, you can certainly manage it, and you can go and enhance it, and you can do a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's a much better way of handling and growing your collection, because we give you unlimited capacity to grow your collection. Okay, you can go through here, and of course, if you're a teacher, and once you can get into the TV4Education page, once you can get into this page, guess what? I'm looking for this particular topic. Okay, so when you go and look for a topic and you go, no, we don't have anything on that topic, and that might be a curriculum code, it might be a legitimate topic. As a teacher, your teachers can click on requests. Okay, and once they're in request, they can go, I want to make a request, topic request, give us the year level. It's for my year 8s. Okay, if you got a curriculum code, you can put it in there. If you got a subject, um, um, English, okay, so you can put in your subject, put in your lesson aim, put in any additional information, and go submit. And when you do that, guess what? Our researchers will go to work for you, and they're just waiting for your request, and we will go and find material appropriate for year 8s, flag it for year 8 and above, and give you the whole bunch of resources on that. Okay, but you can say, but I just want a TV program. Fine, go to the free to air request, and you can request anything that's being aired on TV, and anything up to 60 days after the broadcast if it hasn't already been requested, and you can have it. And remember, unlike our competitors, everything we do is free of ads. You can go around and say, no, 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 I don't want free to air. I want a Foxtel program. You can request anything from Foxtel, absolutely anything. And we'll go ahead, tell us the program name, and as long as it's 48 hours from today's airing, okay, we will go and make sure we record it, strip the ads, and then make it available for you. But all your teachers, so it's a good idea to give your school, give all the teachers access to the system to be able to request content and build your collection. There is no limit to the number of items they request or add to the collection. Okay, everything we do is totally limitless. Have as much as you want. And because TV4Education is a system where you go and you are guaranteed to get resources on anything, on any topic, to build your lesson in your learning management system. That's what we are all about. We're not about giving you some Mickey Mouse 2-bit lesson. We're about giving you content. So, as a professional teacher, you can build your lesson with quality, high quality digital content. If you want closed captioning, when you make a request, tell us, I'd like closed captioning with this as well. We'll do that. We will bend over backwards to make sure you get what you want in the digital space so that you are not being restricted in any way to be able to act as a professional teacher and get content. We pride ourselves on it, and that's what we love doing, is making you look good with great content. That's what TV4Education administration is all about. If you want to add a teacher, patron, I've shown you how to add a patron by clicking add on the patron screen. Or if you want to import a patron, so okay, just go down here, go to patron, and then go smart patron import. Okay, and have a look at the documentation on it. It's fantastic. And you go, oh, but what about if I need some help? If you're new to the system, you will have these 3 buttons down here. And this is not a machine communication. So when you click on that, it'll get a little pop-up, which is a machine pop-up. But after that, no matter what you type in here, we have staff that are monitoring this, and we will answer your request. And it's a live chat with a live person. That's what we do. But if you say, can I get my own notes? Absolutely, you can. And what you can do is you can go and click on the help button. Okay. And from the help button, you can go and search our knowledge base. So you can certainly do it that way. Or how about here? Click on the menu, then come, let's sign out and then sign back in again. Okay. So I'll just show you what you can do. So here I go. I'm going to sign in. Okay. Oops. Okay. Oops. Now, that was very frustrating trying to get the right username in. Wouldn't it be fantastic if it was single sign-on? So, if you know anything about single sign-on, or if you don't know anything about single sign-on, go to your IT and tell them, we've got TV4Education, we want it set up as single sign-on. So you can go ahead and tell us that you want to be set up for single sign-on, and we'll set you up so that you, a student or teacher, while ever they're on the network, will never ever need to sign on. Okay, otherwise they will need to click that. So if you want to ask us anything, click on the menu, okay, go down to support, and guess what? Scroll up in the support. You can contact support, you can go for look at help articles, you can look at training videos, you can go to the FSI community, you can go to the quick start guide, which will deal with everything we just dealt with. Or why don't you just, you've got some time, just go to youtube.com.au. Go to YouTube. Okay. Well, what's on YouTube? Guess what? In the YouTube area, type in TV4 Education. That's all you need to do. And there is all the videos on just about anything you want to do on TV4 Education. You'll find it all in here. Okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity for new users, TV4 Education administration.